walked 11 miles. Not too bad, buddy. You got some good lungs, considering. Yeah. No, you can tell you've been doing this all your life.
Spot right now, just looking at potential of cutting a hell spot, repelling into cut a hell spot. Okay,
I hear them.
Granite IC, Blue Ridge 1, TAC 1. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, on scene. 18, confirmed. Okay, I copy. And let's go ahead and obviously secure the area, and we'll go from there. And just confirming no medical treatment needed at this time.
Okay, copy that. We are going to pull off of going in on the ATVs with the medical task force.
We have a dirty little secret in the fire service. Actually, we've got a big one. We're losing so many of our brothers and sisters to suicide. We've got to stop the stigma around mental health and start talking about it openly. When we have a mass casualty incident like Yarnell, silencing the fire community is not the answer. Neither is sending the affected personnel home without proper support. We're sending a bunch of wounded brothers and sisters back to their home units, and they're not even given the proper tools to process the trauma. Then on top of that, they are told not to speak of the incident. This causes them to internalize the trauma even more. These wounds are never healed, so they end up festering and getting worse. We need to address the situations when they occur rather than ignore them. Sweeping them under the rug doesn't make them go away. I heard something once that goes along the lines, if you don't take time for your wellness, at some point you'll be forced to take time for your illness.
That's when you say there's a dirty secret. The dirty secret is that first responder firefighters are really struggling in there. And that when I started digging into it, the numbers actually reported is that they have 5 times the rate of suicide than the national population. That's a scary number, 5 times, but that's the reported. We actually think it's somewhere between 7 to 8 times the national population because it's underreported because of liability. Because some people retire, go home, or have medical disability for physical things, but they end up having problems outside and they, commit suicide afterwards. When I asked, hey, where are the units that had been here? And they said, we got rid of them. I had to send them all home because they were operationally ineffective. They were probably under a lot of mental trauma from the events, which can be very devastating when you have a serious incident occur.
My name is Catherine Coleman. I am a licensed psychologist, and I'm board certified in police and public safety psychology. I run a practice that serves exclusively first responders, including law enforcement, firefighters, EMTs. My specialty is working in trauma and treating PTSD, responding to critical incidents, and just understanding the impact. At the end of the day, we need to think about our first responders as a subset. They deal with all of the same issues, right? They've got family problems, they've got financial issues, they struggle with raising their kids. The day in and day out of their jobs includes so much death and destruction and trauma. Combined with the type of personality that tends to get involved in this work is very much a type A, very much alpha. And because of that, there's a lot of stigma within public safety professions about not appearing weak, always having to be strong, that suck it up buttercup kind of culture where you just need to let everything go, stuff it down, don't show any weakness, don't show any emotion, and just keep going. And that is what I have noticed has been the biggest detriment to our firefighters and law enforcement.
A lot of us, from my memory, always felt a lot of the same things, and we talked behind closed doors because we weren't allowed to talk about it in public. There was a lot of hurt among us because it's like, if that can happen to them, can it happen to us?
+90% of your thoughts occur in the subconscious mind, and you normally don't have access to them. The subconscious mind is always present, but the conscious mind drifts between being present, dwelling on the past, depression, worrying about the future, anxiety. So we want to retrain the conscious mind to be more present, and then over time, the conscious mind trains the subconscious mind.
My name is Reverend Dr. Bob Osler, and I am a trauma chaplain, first responder chaplain. I was a chaplain at Ground Zero, and I helped identify remains at Ground Zero, and I conducted well over 300 funerals on Tower 2. I was involved with the Yarnell 19 when that happened. That kind of call will change you forever. It's heartbreaking. I mean, chaplains have hearts too, and they break and we cry. These are things where people's hearts just get crushed, and you need to be there to be an ear, a heart, a shoulder. You know, most firefighters are tough in the inner feelings. They hold it back and they say, I'm fine. I'll get through this just fine. It's not the case. I've had 6 friends since I've left my job who've committed suicide. So that's why we need to have time to have someone listen to us. It isn't always religious. My job isn't to go there and bang the Bible and say, hey, let's pray. It's there to go there and really be a listener. Listen, listen, listen. Decompression to me is letting it out, talking it through, talking until you just don't have anything more to say. We knew these men. We knew these families. We hurt with them. We feel with them. We empathize. We sit there and say, wow, how can we help you? And that's what you try to do. You try to let them decompress, and you decompress by letting it out. Many years ago, when they started the Salvation Army, there was a huge convention in Europe for all the Christian organizations to be there. And the General Booth was ill. He couldn't make it. And he sent a telegram, and they read that telegram to all these thousands of ministers and clergy. And all it said was, others, gentlemen, others. And that's what I would say to others. This isn't about anything else. You just take care of others. I never forget that. I won't. Ooh. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, please don't. You're like a sophomore. 35 years ago.
I think it was somewhere good. Yeah, that's where they rolled, man.
Hi, my name is Daniel Lyon. I used to work for the U.S. Forest Service. In 2015, the crew and myself caught in a massive burnover, which led to the death of firefighters, and I sustained massive injuries that led to a journey that would last several years. It included a variety of physical pain, but mostly mental stress. My mental journey has been an extremely long one. It continues to this day. My journey included several different methods to get to the point where I am today. I can admit that I'm happy with where I'm at in my journey now, but that's only because I dedicated myself to making sure that my mental health was a top priority along with my physical health.
We're just over 10,000 feet right now, and here's where we're going in this region tomorrow. So it should be a good time.
Lion 4 years ago, I was severely injured in the Wildfire fire, but the Wildfire Firefighter Foundation, which all of you are benefiting right now, has helped me get back my life. And just last week, I saw it out right here, and this fire made it all the way to the top. And this fire represents the Wildfire Foundation, which is one of the most incredible nonprofits in the United States. And I'm proud to represent it, so thank you guys for your support.
Daniel here to call on the phone and says, for the anniversary of Swiss River this year, I'm giving someone down right here. And I thought, that's pretty incredible coming from a guy who's had over 70 surgeries since the incident happened. But in the last time, you are the epitome of what the human spirit is to make of it. We want to
I've done everything from counseling, received help from mentors. I've gone on mental health retreats, and I've just done a variety of things. Not any one of those worked perfectly and worked entirely, but it was a combination of all of them to help get me to where I am today. I think it's important that if you're on your own mental health journey right now, that you focus on a variety of aspects, but don't just focus on one single piece. When it comes to peer support, it's important to find that person that you truly connect with, and it is okay to not feel the need to connect with everybody, because again, this is your mental health journey, your top priority to get your well-being back to as good as possible.
I'll give you 35 years later. 35 years ago, I hung this sign.
How old were you when you hung it?
Must have been 16, something like that.
Some holy ground.
Had no idea my path in fire would be what it is. And I can actually point this to this logo on my back. 35 years ago.
Who made the plaque?
Boise County. You can see we siliconed it, drilled it, or we drilled into the stone, silicone, and here it is since 1986. Jemez Pueblo Eagles. Crew number 4. The Jemez Eagles still come into the foundation currently to this day. Out of the whole crew that were in the back of the military deuce, it was down at the bottom of this ravine until they could get a shaman up here to release the bodies. They laid in this ravine for days. It's something for them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know my knowledge not an effect on their journey like it did mine for damn sure.
Well, you turned this into your life's work and mission.
The chapter started back then, and who couldn't know towards the end of the book where it was going to be.
Yeah. And who knows where it's all going to go?
That's where it started for me, man. 15 years old.
It's like full circle for you. Think of how many firefighters' lives you and your mother have touched.
And sacrifice the Jemez. That's why it's a special place. Every time I go to New Mexico, I go back to the res there, man. Our connections there are deep. Being 15 years hanging out at 52 years old now, hiking back in here 35 years later, never saw it coming from a mile away.
Never knew this would be the start of your journey.
Didn't see that one coming, Scotty.
No, I think that's how life is, though. We don't ever see it coming.
Well, you can only stuff so much trash into a compactor before it doesn't close and it overflows. And that's exactly what we see, is that for a lot of these guys and gals, it's not necessarily one incident that creates a trauma reaction. It's the fact that they've been doing this for years and years and years, and it accumulates and they don't deal with it right when it happens.
So my name is Becky Livingston, and I started my career in 1979 with the U.S. Forest Service, was one of the first women on the Sandia Helitack, and then was first of 2 females hired on Smokey Bear Hotshots. I got the job, the first ever regional wildland fire operations health and safety specialist. Finally retired in 2018 after developing pretty severe complex post-traumatic stress. Being the regional wildland fire operations health and safety specialist, you're on call and my cell phone rang. You know, it's one of those moments that you freeze in time. I answered the phone and it was my fire director. There's this fire in Arizona, the Yarnell Hill fire, and we have a crew that's missing we haven't heard from. I'm just letting you know because you're the point of contact. And it couldn't have been 10 minutes later and the phone rang and they're gone. They're all gone. There's a whole crew, the Granite Mountain Hotshots. I was knee-deep in everything about Yarnell Hill, you know, and my position at a national level's everything from conference calls to talking to legislators to dealing with the media to talking to my friends, making sure that people were okay, what did they need, talking to Vicki at the Wildland Firefighter Foundation, what can we do? First and foremost on my mind was the well-being of all of my friends and all of my peers that were involved in that incident. About 6 months later that I started having little things, I call it percolate up, and I would do such a great job of just stuffing them down and getting busy with work. 2.5 years later, it caught up to me.
What did it feel like when it caught up to you?
You can't even describe the enormity. And when everything caught up to me, I use the analogy of Jenga blocks. It was that last Jenga block got pulled out.
And so then you've got 10, 15, 20 years down the line, a person that has, you know, what I call the Book of the Dead. They've got this encyclopedia of all of these horrendous calls, all of the dead bodies that they've seen. And now it's all coming to surface, and it creates a whole lot of disruption in their life. We're talking problems in their relationships at home, sometimes reckless behavior, alcohol or other substance use problems, you know, just a horrible time sleeping, nightmares, you name it.
My name is Danny Shedden. I am a mental health counselor for wildland firefighters. Right now, what I'm seeing in the wildland firefighter population is a lot of lack of resources. Many people feel like even if there are resources, they don't even know what's out there. The issues that I see wildland firefighters struggling with are substance use, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress, grief from trauma they may have been exposed to on the line or off the line, panic attacks and panic disorder. There are resources out there for wildland firefighters. You just don't know how to access them. We don't teach them how to actually access and utilize care. We don't teach them about alternative care options as well. And then we definitely don't teach them how to use the health insurance benefits. They don't even know that mental health is covered. Behavioral health is what most insurance call it. I'm super excited about the Wildland Firefighter Foundation and what they're going to be doing around mental health programs, because one of the big pieces will be education, how to access care. All of us are going to struggle sometime. How do we get care? Yes, in this job, you're going to be exposed to crisis. You're going to be exposed to trauma. It's not if, it's when.
Communicate! Grab your pack! Grab your shelter! Let's go! The fire's coming! Come on, let's go! All right, you guys come out of your shelters, but stay where you are. How many people had feet towards the fire? Oh shit. How many people deployed and had their line gear right next to them? How many people made it in with their gloves, their water, their radio? What did you guys think about that?
Terrified.
Definitely. Anyone have a hard time breathing when they're inside of there, get a little claustrophobic? This is just in very calm condition. So there's obviously going to be a lot more adrenaline pumping through your veins. It's going to be a lot hotter. It's going to be a lot windier. It's going to be a lot louder.
My name is Eric Broxton. I'm the mental health director for the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. Just want to tell you a little bit today about what we're doing here and why we're doing it. Wildland Firefighter is the most underrated civil servant, public servant walking the earth right now. And unfortunately in the wildland community, it's still pretty taboo to talk about mental health. There's a big stigma around mental health, and it's difficult for them to even self-identify as someone who might be struggling with their mental health. So the goal of the foundation is to bring more awareness to that and to help them find ways to be able to reach out to each other initially and or to reach out to us for support with their mental health. Right now in the mental health community, suicides are starting to fall in line with the number of fatalities that we're experiencing in the wildland community. That's a very scary statistic and something that we hope to combat. We'd love to get to these firefighters and teach them and give them resources and tools to work on their mental health before it ever becomes a crisis. And for each wildland firefighter that we're able to support or help, that means another wildland firefighter is going to see that and be able to extend that same courtesy and kindness and compassion to other firefighters in the community. Anything that we can do to help them, that's what we're here for. That's been our mission for 30 years, and now we're just expanding it to the mental health community.
I'll put my light in a bottle, something to guide your way. Even if you're too scared to follow, there's a light in each new day. If the moon gives up rising, the sun stops it shining, you know you'll have a hand to hold.
Therapists are often told that we shouldn't talk about ourselves, but in a relationship, there's some reciprocity. And how is somebody supposed to trust me if they don't know anything about me? And so I've always been very careful in what I share with people, but I show my true authentic self. And I think that that's one of the most important things that therapists and clinicians can do is to be themselves, to not be a robot and not to have this stick up their ass. Can I say that? Okay.
As we wait on the timing, together we find it. There's more than one way to go home.
And it really touches everybody. It's not just one wildland firefighter or one hotshot crew. It's every single wildland firefighter.
As we wait on the timing, together we find it. There's more than one way to go home. Yeah, there's more than one way to go home.
So we do a series of infusions, but before a patient or a firefighter comes in for the first time, they meet with what we call an integrative coach. And then the coach will also explain to them what they expect to feel. And then the days in between is really what we find is critical. What you do with your mind for the first 24 hours after really matters. And so we do this post-processing integration coaching session with our coach again. And so we find the combination of being able to experience the medicine, opening up the mind, and then processing that process afterwards. And that's what makes the healing and makes the process stick.
What did you kind of go through today? What were your thoughts? Where'd you visit?
How could we encourage a firefighter that we know is struggling? How can we encourage them to get help?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a lot of ways for them to reach out to us. They can reach out to us through our Facebook Messenger. They can call us directly. They can email us. And pretty much anyone here at the foundation is well-versed and able to actually have that conversation and direct traffic so that we can get them the support that they need. But in terms of teaching and supporting the community, it's something that we're going to do through webinars, through workshops, through retreats, and even in-person visits to camps wherever that's possible and feasible to do. So it's really just as much interaction as possible to really make sure everybody knows what's available to them. Yeah, that's a big fear that a lot of firefighters have. If they speak out that something bad's going to happen, they don't want to lose their job. The foundation maintains 100% confidentiality. We don't share any of their information with anybody, and they can remain anonymous when they contact us. And from there, we can actually get them in our system and help them get support that they need without actually having to jump through a whole bunch of hoops.
Want you to know we have your back, man. Whatever you got going out there, there's nothing we have not dealt with, that cannot deal with. We're happy to deal with. We are you, you are us. We're all community today, but thank you for your service and what you do out there. But just know that we got you, man. That we're only a call away, and no matter what you got going on, we're going to get you taken care of. So thank you all.
Many firefighters start struggling at around November. Come December, that's when it really starts getting dark for folks. Not only do we have the holiday season, they're even further away from their crews. They start struggling financially. But I would say the darkest period for wildland firefighters and the most increase of risk of suicide would be between January and March. Now they're really trying to stretch the dollar to get to the next fire season because their savings are running out. These are the resources. This is how we're going to bridge you to care, and we're here. There are people here on the other side waiting to help.
Just a quick safety alert, don't back up into a cactus.
What kind of hope do you think that there's out there for people?
I think there's a lot of hope for everyone out there, no matter what spot you're at in life. There was a point in my life where I admit that I never contemplated suicide, but I had several conversations with God. I would be okay if I didn't wake up the next day. I was in so much pain and so much darkness. But even on that darkest of days, I was truly able to find a light and look towards the light at the end of that tunnel. I really believe that there is a light at the tunnel for every person. If you make yourself and your mental health a top priority, you can find a lot of hope out there. I know there's a lot of tough things going on in the world right now, and we face more stresses in the world than ever, but there still is hope in this world to help you improve yourself. I believe each and every one of us can find it if you search hard for it. My name is Daniel Lyon. I used to work for the U.S. Forest Service as a wildland firefighter.
Yes, there's so much hope for people who experience trauma, especially in this day and age. You know, if this was 20, 30 years ago, where we didn't have the treatment modalities that we had, where the stigma was even worse than it was now, we wouldn't see the kind of outcomes that we're seeing now. We're starting to see the stigma be removed a little bit. We've still got a long way to go, but there's so many different treatment options for an individual that's experienced trauma, whether that's talk therapy, whether that's doing things like EMDR or brain spotting. There's equine therapies, acupuncture, there's medicines, there's ketamine. There's so many different options, and it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and sometimes it's trial and error, but there's so much that can be done now to help a person understand and heal from trauma that there's no excuse that we shouldn't try.
My name is Burke Miner. I'm the Executive Director of the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. The Wildland Firefighter Foundation's main mission is to step in and sustain the homes of a killed or injured wildland firefighter. Been in this business for almost 35 years now, and taking care of firefighters' family is prominent. It's important. We've buried many, we've taken care of many, but what we're finding out here on the curve of all this is mental health. Through every program, through every person that's walked through this door, they're all affected by mental health. And through this mental health movement, we are bringing the right people to the table. We have the right programs in place, and we are absolutely taking care of this community. We believe right now that mental health is first and foremost. There's so many people involved in this movement, and it couldn't be more heartfelt to this community. We here at the Wildland Firefighter Foundation have your back. We want to see you do your best out there. We want to see you be able to get your job done out there. Quite proud of all the boots on the ground that do this job. We're proud of you for coming forth to say that you got problems, and we're here to help you confidentially with your problem. If anybody out there needs assistance with mental health or anything like that, reach out to the foundation. Reach out on our phone numbers, our social medias, through our website. Just reach out, and we can get all those calls directed to the right place, get you in the right hands to get you taken care of.